Hello guys, this is Matrix Ray, and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for Soldier of Fortune Gold Edition. We are using large frame buffer, a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p, native, 16 times anisotropic filtering, mip mapping is on automatic, full direct 3D recommended on. We are using 16 times MSAA. At 16 times MSAA at 1440p, the game costs around 1.1 gigabytes of video RAM. Texture filtering of display and FXAA shader are on as well. We are using bilinear forced and direct 3D11. Bilinear PS2 works for this game as well. I am using forced to filter the HUDs, but they low-key look pretty good, blocky as well, so it's a personal preference. I'll have it filtered in this video though. I am using MTVU. This game is definitely recommended for MTVU to be on. If you have more than 3 cores, 6 cores, you need this on. Pretty much need it on the whole time, because unfortunately, as you see, there's an EE bottleneck. It's already at 100%, which is unfortunate. By playing this game from start to finish, yes, I finished this game, I had a lot of frame skips and here and there some slowdown, mostly frame skips, unfortunately. Now, this game does target 60 frames per second, which I appreciate, but it doesn't really get that 60 frames per second. It's always hovering around 55, 57 on average, I would have to say. Now, the game does target 640 by 448, so we're going to be playing this game at native PS2 on software mode at 60 frames per second. Now, as you see, there's a lot of aliasing in the distance, also on the ground. If you're viewing in oblique angles, it looks even worse. I assume the game's using about bilinear, maybe trilinear texture filtering. But if I go to native 1440p, as you see, the ground viewing at an oblique angle look really nice and sharp. No aliasing at all. So basically 16 times anisotropic filtering works. So that's a good thing that it's working. Now, if you look in the distance again, you can see all the brick details as well at native 1440p. You can see the lights are better as well. But if I go back to native PS2, you can see the brick details are hard to see now and you can't really appreciate it that much. Now, as you see on software mode, the game doesn't get 60 frames. It doesn't really hit that target 60 FPS, but it hovers around 50. But if I go to native 1440p, so this is hardware mode, as you see that it gets around 55 frames, so 55 to 59 frames, as you see. When there are times where it hits 60 frames per second, is mostly looking out in the sky, up in the roof, so technically the sky in a way, or the ground. You can get that 60 frames per second, but if you look out in the distance, you can see that there are some drops or skips. Now, when it's in combat, when you're in combat, it gets even worse. Just quickly press that. Yeah, so when you get in combat, it's actually even worse. There's more frame rate drops, so you just got to really rely on a decent CPU. Now, I do have a i7-98X clocked at 3.33 GHz, it's base clock, so I would recommend a 4.00 GHz CPU or more on this game. Now, if that doesn't work, that's unfortunate, but as I said, there is an EE bottleneck, so I would assume that a higher clock CPU would actually do the job. This game is, demanding, but it is still very fun. Now, as you see, there's a lot of frame skips right now just by shooting these enemies. That's the problem this game has most of the time. Now, let's have another last look. Native PS2, native 1440p, one more time. Native PS2. Native 1440p. The flag and the brickwork look a lot better at 1440p. Now, as you see, I'm getting a lot of frame rate drops. The frame count doesn't really say it because it's due to a frame skip, but can't do much about it. This is just what the game is. This is what the game is in its current state. It's still very well playable, but it's not going to be your favorite version because there's a PC version that will run this a lot better, but this is what the PCSX version does. It looks beautiful at 1440p, and it runs somewhat decent here and there. Alright, well that's about it. See you later.